Welcome back.
Welcome back to what?
Welcome back to this episode of But
That's
not important right now.
That reminds me. That you're coughing there. Your coughing there reminds me of a knock joke, a knock joke. You know that, right?
What? What's a knock joke?
You never heard of a knock joke? Like knock knock.
Who's there?
And then you say, "Who's there?" Oh, come on, man! You mean to tell me you have no concept of what a knock joke is? Good Lord!
Dad, I wanted you to define a knock joke, and then we'd say, but that's not important right now. You dropped the ball, Jarrod. You dropped the ball.
Did I?
The Zucker brothers would have been upset and said, cut, you guys are morons, get off our set.
Yeah, well, we are, because I really wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't thinking along those lines just yet. But
all right, well, let's do it again.
Okay. What's a knock joke?
What is a knock joke?
Oh God. Okay, a knock joke is where you utter a turn of phrase or a series of words that will lead to a funny punchline. But that's not important
right now.
You happy? You got your 30 pieces of silver? Huh, Reed? Are you happy? You should be. God damn it.
Who's there?
Oh my God.
Dad, who's there? You said knock. Who's there?
Who's there? Emphysema.
Emphysema who?
Emphysema with a cigarette. Tell her to quit smoking.
Man, them things bad for your lungs, man.
No, but
what's the line for me? What's the line for me? Airplane. If chump don't want the help, chump don't get the help.
Oh yeah, chump don't want the help, chump don't get the help. Jive ass dude ain't got no brains anyhow.
Anyway, I'm Ian Reed, and
I am Jarrod Butts,
my partner in crime.
Yes, unfortunately,
in the advertising world, we would like to apologize for no episode last week because it turns out that both of us had health issues.
Both of us had health issues.
It's not the unspecified virus.
Thank God
just
to
be clear. But it's a weird flu. I find it's a strange flu. It has left me with this kind of strange cough. And I don't know if Jarrod had the same flu, but Jarrod does have a kind of a scratchy cough himself.
Yeah, I had a rather scratchy cough and a bit of a stuffy nose and everything. No fever, thank God. But what I did was that, the thing about it is, and I don't know if that has anything to do with the unspecified virus, but at least in this part of the world, you'd be hard pressed to find cough mixtures and cough syrups and stuff like that. So, which is why yours truly decided to embark on an old-fashioned remedy. And so far, it's been working quite well for me. Honey and lime, regular honey and lime. So pardon me. So what I did was that I took some honey and regular lime juice and I mixed that. And tonight, later on, what I'm going to do is get some ginger tea and add some honey to that. And I think that'll help tremendously in terms of, I won't be kept up with the incessant coughing and so on.
The coughing at night is the problem. It's weird because
it's really
it's weird. It's weird because during the day it's not a big deal, but at night it's like, dude, just let me sleep. So I got a remedy for my sister-in-law, and she says, "You try the old Indian tea remedy. That's saffron, ginger, cloves, cinnamon steeped in hot water." And I tried it. Obviously, you have to add sugar to this. Jarrod, I don't know what the recipe for that hallucinogenic. What was your hallucinogenic one? I want to hear the recipe for that. I want to try the hallucinogenic remedy. So please get that.
I could talk to my pharmacist friend in Tunapuna, and she could and I could say, well, you talk to him. I'll give her your contact number, and she'll contact you, and you can go. somewhere into the pool and pick it up. But she's a very nice person, but she has very little patience for fools. She does not suffer fools gladly. Just so you know, just so I had to warn you, let you know about that. So yeah, in the world of advertising, I have to say that I was listening to this particular radio ad, and I liked it. It made me sit up and take notice. The weird thing about this ad was that it was about a minute long, and that's something you don't really get. That doesn't happen too often. But it was telling a story about how this young man has a close relationship with his grandmother, how his grandmother raised him when he was a little boy, ever since he was a little boy, and she had a mild heart attack, but it was a bank ad. That's what it was. It was an ad for a particular commercial bank, and I thought, excuse me, I thought this is something that more of this. It sounds a little bit contrived, I will admit, but at the same time, it did come up with a rather interesting story, and that is something that doesn't happen very often, especially as it relates to traditional, local advertising. So it was like a throwback, if you will, to what it was like, say, 20, 30, even 40 years ago. So that I thought that was rather keen. I liked that, and I liked it. And normally I don't, there are certain ads that I hear and see, and I have to wonder, what do you remember, right? That you had a problem with this particular milk ad, price versus taste, and we spoke at length about that.
Which they've changed, actually. They kind of changed it up a little. They kind of changed it up a little bit.
They changed it up
a little bit, not a
little bit, not by much.
Yeah.
But I was listening to this particular individual doing the ad, and I thought to myself, the first words that popped into my mind is this: God, you're an annoying little blank, blank, blank. And no, I am serious. I heard because I said, dude, I know you're popular because his popularity is based on stuff that he's done. He posts stuff on Facebook, on social media about particular letters and so on, and apparently he's very popular. And apparently the dude is very popular. And look, you know what?
He is.
And I'm not begrudging his popularity. I'm not saying that he shouldn't get a break or anything like that. If this is what the public wants, if this is what they want to see, if this is what they like, if this is what they enjoy, I am not begrudging the man's success.
Yeah,
more
absolutely.
Power to him.
No problem.
More power to him. No problem. And I'm just talking from my own personal bias, which is, I guess, is something that I'll have to deal with on my own. But after a while, you hear it, you listen to this dude, and you're thinking to yourself, you are an annoying blank, blank, blank. and this is it. I mean, you are cultivating people who are at one point they're the shit. At one point they're the shit, and then as time passes by, they're no longer shit. They ain't shit. Yeah. They don't have anything to do with you. You remember? Let me give you a perfect example of what. Do you remember when we were working at the agency so many millennia ago, so many eons ago? Mm-hmm. You remember there was this guy who did. Now, mind you, I think it was like in the late 2000s, right? There was this dude, this American dude. I think his name was Vince something or the other. But Vince did something called Slap Chop.
Yep.
And Slap Chop was this little doohickey where you put whatever it was, nuts, vegetables, fruit, you could chop it in that little device, and you would end up with like, a sort of crudely processed whatever it was, whether it was cucumbers or stuff. So there was this local dude who did something like that. He did a Trinidadian version, if you will, of slap chop. And he just it went viral.
Yeah.
And I think what happened was what he was asked to come to the agency to do this particular this particular product, and kind of do like a parody of a parody, if you will. So that he was doing his slap chop parody of something else, and it was expected that he would generate a lot of buzz, which it did.
Yeah.
But it's and I think it kind of foreshadowed what we would have in years to come with influencers and Instagram and things like that. And it's one of my pet peeves, because it's not like you have someone. It's not like you can get an individual. It seems to me like you can't get individuals these days. You can't get individuals these days who would have some sort of staying power, some sort of knowledge about the product, and stand by it and build up a base. There's no time to cultivate that. There's no time to really generate any sort of there's no slow and steady wins the race kind of maxim at work here. It's just get somebody who can generate some quick buzz. Yeah. Flash, bam, boom, bang, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they go on, and then they go on to the next, and then they go on to the next person who can do that. And and I'm just saying that that's all well and good for the short term, but what about the long term of your product? What do you do? I mean, there's a reason why, for example, we have ads, traditional ads, as well as not so traditional ads for all sorts of eating establishments, all sorts of restaurants you could think of. The major ones, the KFCs, the McDonald's, the Little Caesars, even. By the way, as we mentioned that, what the hell is really going on with that pizza, man? Honestly.
All right, for those listening, and those who are still listening, and wake up, goddammit, if you're falling asleep.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have fallen asleep on Monday.
Maybe the couple, I don't know. I hope the couple who usually has sex to us talking. I hope they're not too.
Oh my God. Oh dear. Please, God, oh God. Oh God. I'm saying, oh God, oh God.
You're saying, oh
God. Oh no.
Look, all we're saying is we just don't look. I mean, we have a far better engaging discussion than anything Joe Rogan can come up with. I'm just putting it out.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm just putting it. I'm just putting it out there. We're not going to say. We're certainly not going to say anything with respect to a particular word. No N words except numbskull, nitwit, nincompoop, that kind of thing. We're good with that.
But the add-in question, the add-in question is not a local ad, just to be clear.
It isn't.
No.
Okay.
And I purposely did post it on Facebook without any comment like that.
Yeah.
To see what people would say. And nobody said anything about the price. Huh? I think Rad said something about the price. She said the price is evil or something. I can't remember what she said. But the point is, nobody commented on the price, right? Because we are so programmed in our territory to see this price so huge, $55 or $10 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Nobody commented it was $7.99. Nobody sells a pizza or something like that at that price in Trinidad. Just doesn't happen.
No, not at all.
So it's a Little Caesars tie-in with the new movie, The Batman. The new Batman. Yeah. It's not the new Batman. It's called The Batman.
Batman.
I'm sorry, Tracy. if you're listening, but my patience for these things has worn very thin, and I can't see myself watching yet another Batman movie.
Another Batman
I'm
film,
done.
another
I'm done.
superhero movie.
And overall superhero movies are kind of saturated. Anyway, so I'm keeping y'all in suspense, and y'all are like, "What the fuck? Why does this guy just get back to the point?" The point is that
get to the point.
It's a orange because the brand is orange ad with a silhouette of a cityscape because it's the Batman, so it's supposed to look like Gotham. And in the sky, in this orange sky, the orange sky, great band. In the sky,
great local band,
right? Yeah. Is a photo of a how do you pronounce it? Calzone?
Calzone,
calzone. Which is fine. I mean, it's a calzone, which is basically a type of pizza. I think it's a folded pizza. Calzone is
a folded pizza with filling of your choice, whether it consists of cheese or cheese, vegetables, cheese, meat, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. The problem is they shaped this calzone. They shaped this calzone into a shape that it's supposed to be the bat signal in the sky.
The bat insignia.
It does not. I'm sorry, whoever did this. And we usually come down on our local designers for doing shit.
Yes.
This is not a local ad. I got it off of somebody posted it in another group, and I shared it because I wanted to see what people's reaction was. I don't know what territory it's from. I'm assuming it's from the United States. I don't know what state. I don't know. But the point is that in that comment thread that they were posting, somebody said, "Is this a feminine napkin?" And then I looked at it again and I said, "Oh my God, it does look like a feminine napkin. It does look like that."
I wasn't even thinking along those lines. But my God, now that you mention it.
Yeah, it has wings. And a lot of people kind of wanted to. I think our friend Peter Lintroy said so. He said that it does look like that, But I didn't want to say anything. I just wanted to see what people would think, and people thought.
And on today's edition of But That's Not Important Right Now, we've got logos and insignias that bear striking resemblance to parts of the female human anatomy. Take it away.
No, we do not. Please disregard that. Please disregard that. We do not.
We don't talk about the. We don't talk about the female human anatomy.
This is a PG.
Do you talk about the male human anatomy then?
This is a PG-13.
Can we talk about the male human anatomy? Okay.
No.
So no. It's okay. So no male or female human anatomy. Nothing.
No.
Got it.
No. Okay. But this is not a male or female anatomy thing. Anyway, this is a a female-related thing, but it's not an anatomy. It's and worse yet, it has red, pepperoni in the middle of it. So it just gets worse. The longer you look at it, the worse it gets. All right. But the point I'm trying to make is that use of ideas. So if we track back possibly the process, the thinking, could it be that the idea was that they were given the brief, okay, we're doing this crossover with the Batman with our local pizzeria franchise, because it's an international franchise. So you gotta do this calzone special, and somewhere along the line, from the brief to the production, somebody got it into their head, well, why don't we just show the bat signal?
Yeah.
and I will put it in the reference of if we the two of us were in a brainstorm with our creative director at the time, you definitely wouldn't know that he would pull out his big sheet of paper and say, okay, what about if we, and he would draw a bat signal. What if we made the calzone look like a bat signal? And I could see that in my mind's eye being what might have happened in this thing. Somebody with a little bit of a higher grade would have told somebody at a lower grade, this is what you need to do. The thing is, though, somewhere along the line, our account coordinator or account executive says, Guys, we don't have a budget to spend all this time to make this calzone look like the bat signal. In fact, we're not even going to be able to do photography. You can't do anything with this other than what they send you. This is the picture of the calzone. I'm like, okay, we'll put that. And for somewhere along the line, somebody is pushing. I want it to look like I'm doing it in the vein of John Malkovich. I want it to look like a bat signal. Where does this not compute with you? Go back and give me a calzone bat signal. And
you see,
that's what you get.
No, but you see, the intention is there. But you know what they say about good intentions? You know what they say about good intentions?
The idea is solid, you know. Don't get me wrong. The
idea is solid, but my problem with that is you do something like that, and sometimes the execution is not up to how you would want it to be, and then I think that is where we have we're going to get some problems. The end anyway.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to say that we, in our big mix-up and mess-up, and today has been quite eventful. But what we were planning to do last week, and I kind of left it off a little bit this week until we could be sure that we could actually do the show, was that we were going to have Darren Boudin on to talk about the political advertising. And we were trying to convince Darren, well, we couldn't do it Wednesday last week. We could do it because we record this on a Wednesday evening. We would do it Thursday evening, and I got felled by this flu, so he got off the hook. One of the things is, well, again, I think this is something that we need to discuss. That a lot of our guests, and I keep saying this, a lot of our guests don't like to be interviewed. You know, and I don't know, in your experience as a radio personality, have you ever had that experience of people saying, I'm not saying it's bad or anything. I'm not saying, Darren, you're a pussy for not coming on. Darren, you're a pussy for not coming on and you're chicken. No, absolutely not. I'm not saying that, Darren, you're a pussy. No, I'm not saying that at all, Darren, you're a pussy. Yeah, no.
No, but I mean, no, I mean,
but the stage fright situation, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, the stage fright situation, the glossophobia, as you once put it. Well, let me put it this way. Sometimes if you're doing a show, you got to make your guests feel at ease, because if now this is where things get kind of out of hand. Now, if you're doing like a call-in radio session or talk session with a guest, you expect your guest to be well informed, to be articulate, and just say what that person, the person, just let him or her say what he or she needs to say. And you just let that person talk. And if you can't find, one of the basic interviewing techniques that I've always learned is this: you have somebody make a statement, and then the follow-up question is, well, why? And then the person has no other option but to expand more on why he thinks, or why she thinks this is that and that is this, and so on and so forth. The real danger is when you literally step outside the studio and you conduct outside broadcasts. Now, I'll tell you something. Now, this is a relic. Doing outside broadcasts, to me, is a relic of the old days. And I don't think we should ever be doing it. But for some reason, station managers will tell you that it's a way of drumming up business. It's a way of getting people to advertise on your radio station. No problem. But I used to do that back in the 90s. The problem with that is you go out there and you say that you go to a department store where they sell clothes, right? And you, poor me, I'm in my 20s. I do not know a damn thing about lingerie. or things of that sort.
You do now. You do now.
I do now. I do now. But back then I didn't. And what made the whole thing even worse is that you wanted to talk to these people who were selling the thing, and they would just clam up. They would just be so nervous because they would think, oh my God, I'm going to sound like a complete idiot. I don't like the sound of my voice and this and that. Now, we had some pretty good troopers. I mean, we had people who would be raring to go and say, yeah, this, and they would really, I mean, they were just brilliant. And even if they did make a mistake, even if they did stumble over a few words or made a grammatical error, it didn't matter because you were real. But the important thing to remember is if you're doing something like that, especially if it's an outside broadcast and you're, it helps that you be informed about the particular product that they're advertising because, and mind you, you only had like about 5 minutes to actually, talk extemporaneously about the product, what it does, where it's available, what the cost is. There was a time when we went to this place, a department store in I think it was somewhere in the Chaguanas area, and they were advertising particular beds. And the thing about it is nobody wanted to talk about the beds because everybody clammed up. No one wanted to say anything about the bed, what where it was made, the brand name. Nobody wanted to talk about it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to talk about it. So from the information that I could get, I said, okay, well, this is a Sealy Posturepedic. Not that it was, I'm just using that as an example. Yeah. So here is a Sealy Posturepedic, and Sealy has been around for a long, long time. I mean, it's been in America for decades, and now here it is in TNT. And I mean, to test the efficacy of this gorgeous product, you know what I'm going to do right now? I am going to go and I'm going to lie on it right now. You know what? I'm going to take off my shoes and I'm just going to climb up onto the bed. And people are looking at me right now and they're extremely horrified because I've never seen this happen before in their lovely department store. But hey, there's a first time for everything. So here I am, and I got to tell you, it really feels firm. And it's just a wonderful experience. Why I could just stay here forever and not want to. And the owner of the department store was horrified because they've never seen anything like that. Why would you go into bed? So, but there's a reason to go into bed. There's a reason for it. You just want to let people know, what's going on. So yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why a lot of the people who we think could come on the show and really give the show that kind of joie de vivre and that kind of thing. And we know Darren has a lot of information, but we will respect Darren's decision if he doesn't want to come.
I mean, if Darren, I wouldn't. Yeah, if Darren is suffering from stage fright and stuff like that, there's I'm not gonna hold it against him.
Yeah, exactly.
I can understand why you wouldn't want to talk and articulate your viewpoints. I mean, you are. I would say in Darren's defense that he is primarily a writer.
Yeah,
and writers, most writers, not all of them, most writers are kind of, when it comes to verbalizing their feelings, they were not exactly good at it.
Yeah.
So that we would much rather take a pen, put it to paper, or use a word processor or a computer, whatever, and just type whatever we feel, what comes to mind. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I think we will hold off on that political advertising thing until we could get somebody. Because I'm trying to think who else I could, who would be willing to come on and talk about their experiences working. Because we don't. We never worked on an ad campaign for a political party. The two of us, never. At least I have. No. So it's something that we wanted to. And I think the only other person I could think of is Mr. Tony Mora, who we brought on for season 1.
Oh, Timmy Mora, yes.
Timmy. Yeah. Sorry, not Timmy. And he is the advertising person on, but you see, he is in the advertising production of the ad situation. I was looking for somebody who was more in the creative, come up with the campaign idea, strategy, which is Darren's thing. But I mean, if and when Darren decides to come in, because he has a lot of great stories that I know he has of working on the various campaigns over the last 20 years. Specifically, the 2020, what was it?
The
Do So
campaign, the Do So campaign from 2010.
That was 2010. That was a famous one. And the reason why I want to bring him on is because I don't want to tell the story, as me. I want him to relate it as him, because it's tied into the whole. Well, when this Cambridge Analytica thing broke, Darren had very strong feelings about it, because the guy in his book claimed he came up with the Do So thing. And Darren was like, but no, I sat down enough. Anyway, I want, excuse me, I want Darren to talk about it. So I don't want to get into it. So if enough people message us and tell us, we want Darren, and we'll publish Darren's phone number and have people call. No, I'm kidding. We won't do that. We will see if he will get over his, what is it called again?
Glossophobia.
Glossophobia, which is
fear of public speaking, right? Fear of public speaking. Yeah. I don't know what there's something I need to say, but oh my God, I'm afraid if I say something, I might just fall apart on myself, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, that's okay. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, you're among friends. We wouldn't berate you, or we wouldn't school you, or we wouldn't we're not.
Yeah, I edit things out. So if you tell me,
we'll edit things out exactly. So
anyway, I am losing my voice.
You were losing your voice, really?
Yeah. So
I told you to take a honey,
Yes, honey. Okay, honey.
Oh,
all right,
gosh.
Honey.
Oh my God! You sound like you just ingested some battery acid. Good God.
Anyway, we didn't think that we would actually be able to do this episode based on our current conditions, but I think we've done quite well considering the situation. And, the big sort of interruptions in the beginning. So I think let's call it a night. Well, let's call it a day today.
Yes.
Let's
truncated.
It's a truncated episode. Sorry, but
it's a truncated episode. But we will try. We were trying our very best to come up with something that would be award-winning. Oh God! Flashback! Flashback!
I just coughed up a hairball. Oh, there goes my lung. All right, Jarrod. Thanks for coming.
Okay. Yeah, thanks
for listening to our COVID
our inane ramblings. We appreciate it.
We appreciate it. We will be back next week. Please let us know what you thought. One of the other things is next week we are going to try to bring on a friend of ours, Natasha Gill. She was supposed to be here for today's episode.
The lovely Natasha Gill.
Yeah, and Natasha's going. And I told Natasha we're going to let her vent. Right, we're going to let her vent because we're going to call the next episode the what's the word?
What's the word?
Not event episode. The
let off some steam episode.
Let off some steam episode. You see how that goes. And we try to temper it a little bit. We don't want it to be the bitching episode. That's what I was going to say. The bitching episode. It's going to be the bitching episode. And some people leave advertising after the bitter taste in their mouth and so on. So we will do that next week for sure. I think this cough will be gone by then. I hope.
Well, let's hope so. Yes.
Yes. All right. So thank you very much for listening, guys. What are we defining? We already defined made a definition. Joke. A what?
We defined what a knock-knock joke was.
We defined that. We defined what stage fright, what's it called? Thing phobia.
Glossophobia. Yeah.
Let's define. We defined a little bit what a calzone is.
Yes.
Jarrod, You need to do the Batman voice and define who the Batman is.
Oh my God. Hey,
And
you really want to put me on this spot, I'll cuss you for this. All right. What is the Batman?
Go.
What is the Batman? The Batman was born out of vengeance because when he was a little boy, he saw his own parents being murdered, and he decided that he would avenge their deaths. But that's not important right now.
That's not important right now. Well done. That was good. Thank you, John. That would be good. I'll use that. Okay.
Gosh, here we go. Coughing fit starts.
Go and take the honey.
I will.